So let's judge things by their effects and their results, not the intent of the people that were putting it together. So again, we had 8 years of empirical evidence showing what worked and worked incredibly well to scale Bitcoin to millions of people around the world. If something's working and working that incredibly well, don't deviate from that course. Yet that's exactly what they've succeeded in doing for Bitcoin. They've shattered the Bitcoin ecosystem to 1,001 different altcoins and delayed the adoption of cryptocurrencies around the world by years. And there's nothing we can do to change the past, but we can work together to change the future. And Bitcoin Cash has the best roadmap to scale for people all over the world to use it as cash for the world by just following the exact same computer science formula and economic formula that led Bitcoin to being this worldwide phenomenon that it is today.
So the question is, not representing a certain entity, but personally, do you believe that the Dr. Wright share the idea that Lightning Network, as a mesh doesn't work in practice? And do you share the same view, or? And also another question for you is that do you think the block size of the Bitcoin should be limited to 1 megabyte, or should be increased along with the Lightning Network?
Well, I stepped out of the room for his talk, so I don't know what he talks about for Lightning.
And I'd actually like to point out how rude he was when he stepped out of the room. He said, "You're going to stay for fake Toshi?" And whether or not Craig is Satoshi or not, the things that he's saying are right in line with what the version of Bitcoin that I signed up for, which was peer-to-peer electronic cash for the entire world.
Okay, so before we got into this, we had to sort of settle the name for it. So I guess people call it Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin Cash, or BTC, BCH. Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin, Bitcoin Core is Bitcoin. So what's the difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin? What's the difference with the BTC and BCH? It's complicated. So what's your view on that terms?
Well, let's go back for one thing. Block size is not 1 megabyte now. It was changed to block weight, not block size. So now blocks can be up to 4 megabytes in block weight.
So in economic terms, this is called an actual subsidy, where they actually don't count the amount of space in the SegWit portion of a block, the same as the amount of space in the other portion of a block. So, and if you go and study economics, you realize that subsidies lead to economically inefficient outcomes, and that's exactly what we have going on here with the SegWit space.
What about the block subsidy?
What block subsidy?
12.5 bitcoins per block.
What about it?
It's a subsidy. You just said subsidies
it's the mining
are bad.
reward. No, it's a totally different type. So in economic terms, you're taking money from one group and giving it to another. That's what's going on with the block space. You're charging lower fees for for space used in the SegWit portion of a block rather than the other portion of a block.
Well, there's actually a mathematical reason for that, but let's just keep it general. So your question was the name.
The name of the Bitcoin. So the fundamental question is, what's the origin? Like, what is the Bitcoin?